Distribuição.
Psychedelic 60s began. The ship would find itself sailing through some strange waters.
She was a glorious sight against the purple skies of sunset as the two tenders came to greet her. Within 90 minutes, 22 passengers.
Francis Brown was one of the few passengers disembarking at Queenstown. With his photographic plates in hand, he boarded the tender, bidding a fond adieu to the ship and her passengers. Unbeknownst to all, with his address listed as 12 Sherborne Terrace in Queenstown, it is assumed that he signed on to the Titanic's crew in order to obtain a free passage home. An exit that surely saved his life. To close the watertight doors, the collision had occurred at 1 a.m. First boatload was number 5, and it was lowered with only 28 aboard. Anna Warren of Portland looked back at the ship and saw through the portholes that the stateroom she and her husband had stayed in on D-deck was now at water level instead of water. Numerous ships hear the Titanic's distress. 64 people, mostly second and third class women and children. Starboard boat number 15 was lowered 30 seconds later with 70 people aboard. Unique that it captivates generation after generation. Well, perhaps it's the period in which the Titanic first
the proof of my mastery will be complete. In a few moments, the entire ship
No expense had been spared to make this ship a symbol of man's final victory over nature. The ship was called the Titanic.
What did you see?
Iceberg, dead ahead, sir!
Cast as crewmen.
Eden.
Unlike Hollywood's take on the disaster, McQuitty's film would focus almost entirely on the real events and characters of the ship. Lord was brought in as a consultant, and McQuitty made sure he stayed true to the book, doing everything he could to recreate the splendor and opulence of the Titanic.
I was so lucky. Bill was really interested in the Titanic. He really adopted the project as his own and was there all the time. The thing that interested me the most was how earnest he was in getting it absolutely accurate as far as he could.
For actor...
The collapsible lifeboat is launched. People start jumping over the side. Special effects put finishing touches on the Titanic model.
For continuity, the use of the port side of the real ship, the Asturias, linked with the use of only one side of the large exterior angled set, and here with the use of the Titanic model, which also was only filmed from the port side.
You see, you're running very high-speed cameras at this stage, and you're only wanting a few feet, so that the fellow who's pulling the cord has to pull it quite quickly. I mean, what you're seeing in the model shots is warts and all. I mean, the men have to go into the water to straighten the lines out. It's a very complicated thing. But at the end of the day, you're only using what is correct. And if they didn't get it, they'd keep on going till they got it. And this is where the producer is tearing his hair, because you know, one could, if you're looking for perfection, you know, you can overshoot enormously. Everything is accurate to scale, and miniature passengers and crew row away from the ship in electrically operated lifeboats. Well, the problem with using water goes back to early apothecaries, because a drop, you got your medicines in drops, because a drop maintains its size. And therefore, if you had a very small model, a drop of water would be the size of a football. So the bigger your model, the more realistic it is. And then we speed up the camera to slow down the motion. And I think this is very effectively done in the model shots. We had different sizes for different situations. But the model you see sinking is about, I suppose, 35 feet long, something like that. In one case, you see the man actually cleaning the companionway, the deck, when the water's coming in. A model that size would have been very, very big indeed. And the bow model would have been big.
The model was over twice as long as the water tank was deep, so it had been constructed in sections. As the model sank, parts were successively removed from the front end, already below the surface, to enable it to sink lower and lower.
Shooting continues on the model.
A separate model, showing the bows only, was used for these dramatic shots. The camera was attached to the model and followed it into the water, as can be seen here.